go, Bourbon Quest. It's your host, Bourbon Steve. Oh, what a week. Oh, man. I guess we get settled in here. Welcome, Bourbon Quest. Glad you could join me today. Yeah, it's been kind of a crazy start of the week. Remember, stay hydrated, my friends. I already knew. I'm going to have to go grab the jigger out of the fridge, or out of the dishwasher, because I did dishes today. Like I said, it's been start of a crazy week. Been a little bit under the weather. I work all the time. Never call out, never sick, but man, this week I got hit by some stuff, so it's not COVID, so X that out. It's some more delicate issues, but I'm fine. Remember, stay hydrated, my friends. We're still going to put out content. Anyways, so, tonight we're doing a special bottle. And let me know. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, ring that bell for notifications. That does you a favor. Subscribing does me a favor, which I appreciate that, but do yourself a favor, ring that bell for notifications, smash that like, comment so we get more videos out to people. Helps the YouTube algorithms, whatever. Leave a comment. But tonight, one of my favorite bottles, but with a twist. What is it? It's Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof, but this is, oh yeah, specially selected by Fletcher Master Distiller. I don't know if you can see that on the camera there. So my guy at the liquor store said, "You want a special bottle?" I'm like, "What is it?" And he goes, Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof by Fletcher. I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take a look at it." And he brings it out. I'm like, "How much is it?" $35. I'm like, same as their regular, store picks, except this one is specifically selected by Fletcher. And I'm like, well, hell yeah, why not? And it's a 375 milliliter bottle. This is one of my favorites anyways, but if you get a tag with Fletcher's name on it, of course, bro. Alright, so, and the thing is, I actually had picked up a couple in the last few months of the 750s, because they're getting harder and harder to come by. So now I don't have to open those, because I want to open this special one, see if it really offers anything different with it being specifically selected by Fletcher over the regulars. Phenomenal. So come on, Chris, it better be better than the other ones I've had. We'll see. Alright, so it is an uncorking with a 375 milliliter Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof Fletcher. Cheers, y'all. Oh yeah. So, as always, I'm going to pour a little in the glass. Where'd that go? Whew. I'm ready to get over this. I do not. I'm fortunate that most of the time I'm very healthy, but the last couple of days it kicked my butt. Probably shouldn't say enough about that. Alright, so, yeah, 2 ounce pour into the infinity bottle. Alright, we got that out of the way. Let's see what Fletcher's got to offer on this specially selected bottle by Mr. Fletcher. Very cute bottle though. Oh goodness. It's not your traditional Jack on the nose. Well, there it is. The ethanol comes through pretty good on that. It is, I think it's 130.3, 130.4. 130.4 proof. This tag's nice, but annoying at the same time. Alright. I'm trying to get a little more air in that. Feels like it needs to get some air, open up a little bit. That's an interesting thing, is that, sometimes the neck pour on a regular bottle, 750 milliliters, needs a little bit of air to let those notes come through and flavors come through. And with this being a 375 milliliter bottle, I wonder, does it even need more? Because it being such a smaller, half the amount. It's a good question. If you know the answer to that, leave a comment, let me know. I never really thought about that before, because we don't do a whole lot of granted the Old Forester's 117, WB Staffel, some of the Jack Tennessee Tasters, and then even the Elijah Craig hand grenade, that's actually a 200 milliliter bottle. But I'm just wondering if the smaller bottles would need more airtime to let their true magnificence come out. I'm not sure. There's that banana starting to come through, but you definitely get that punch of ethanol and more cherry than banana. Definitely oak. I definitely think that this one might be a little bit more aged than your traditional barrel proof, because I'm getting a lot more oak on this than I have on the other Jack barrel proofs that I've gotten. And more cherry, black pepper, banana starting to come through, but definitely some spice, black pepper, a ton of ethanol. And a lot of times it's always there, but this one comes. All right, let's see. Cheers, Bourbon Quest. I don't know. You definitely get that punch of ethanol on there. It does come off more oaky than normal. Not as much banana, more cherry. I don't know if Chris was just trying to go for something different than traditional, or maybe it needs more airtime. I was excited about getting this, but I'm gonna go in for a second sip before I make a judgment. Yeah, man, I wish I had one already open, but I'm not opening it. I've got two on the shelf. I finished one off maybe a couple weeks ago, and then was excited about getting this one since it was selected by Chris Fletcher, but it's not bad. It's just not what I've traditionally gotten off of these. All right, I shouldn't have said that. Let's go in for a second sip first. Wow. Definitely that proof hits you up front. The viscosity's good. Like I said, it's more oaky and more cherry, less banana than the ones I've had before. Maybe some of you would like that. Wow, I can't believe I'm saying this. I don't think this is. I was expecting this to be one of my favorites or better ones since Chris picked it out, but maybe we just have different palates or profiles, or maybe he was trying to go for something different than your traditional Jack Daniel's barrel proof with maybe selecting an older age. There's not an age statement. It's just, it's your regular, everything. Let's see, wait a minute here. It says bottle date, February 17th, 2020. Barrel House 211. So, it just says the Barrel House on the neck. Barrel House 211. Chris Fletcher, Master Distiller. Barrel number 22-0624. I don't know if you can read anything into those numbers. Not that I'm aware of. and then the bottle date was February 17th, 2022, but there's no age statement on this. I tend to think that it was aged longer than your normal single barrel proofs, because you do get a lot more oakiness on that, more cherry, less banana. Again, it's not bad, it's just not what I was expecting. I mean, I'm still glad I got it. I love Chris Fletcher, I love Jack Daniels. Maybe I had too high expectations there, and I think, and I don't know this, Chris, leave a comment if you're watching. Let me know, were you trying to go for something different than the normal with it having your name on the little necklace? Man, I wish I had another. I'm not opening one. I wish I had one open right now to compare it to. But it comes off much more ethanol, more oaky, more cherry, less banana. Alright, third sip. I mean, it's still really good. I think it's just about what I was expecting and what I've experienced before. I mean, it's still a buy, because it is good. It's just different. And, you know, especially if you're a Jack Daniels fan, a Chris Fletcher fan, which I'm both of. I mean, I don't regret buying it. So if you figure $35, I mean, a regular one's $70 anyways right now. So price point's right on it. It's good. I still enjoy it. It's just a little off profile than what I've experienced before with these, which is one of, I mean, I should do a video on that. My top 5 daily sippers. Because some of them are going to be, because used to, when I first started out, you know, you could find this Jack Daniels barrel proof fairly regularly. And then, like I said, I had seen it for like 6 months. Well, there was like a 6-month gap. I didn't see it at all. And then the last 2 months I have seen it and picked up a couple bottles of it because it's freaking fantastic. Along with Four Roses Small Batch Select. And those are probably my top 2 that are not allocated. Well, actually, I'll take that back. It doesn't even matter if it's allocated or not. If it's, I mean, I'm not talking Pappy Van Winkle allocated, but I'm talking like Eagle Rare, Colonel Taylor allocated. I still have, I mean, I have multiple bottles of those. Maybe not as, I mean, I do have 2 bottles of Stag Junior, but I've got like 5 Eagle Rares, 5 Colonel Taylors, and that's usually the max I try to go because I'm wanting to leave some for the rest of you out there, and I don't want to just be a hoarder. I do like having backup bottles of like your Eagle Rare, your Colonel Taylor. I would like to have more backup bottles of Stag Junior, but you know, that one's a little bit harder. So, I mean, I would include those, and I'll do a video on it. I'll do my top 5 regularly on my shelf, have available, sip on a regular basis, which the top 2 are going to be Jack Daniels Barrel Proof and Four Roses Small Batch Select. Number one reason is because they're freaking fantastic, and the Jack's becoming hard. You can still get the Four Roses Small Batch Select pretty much any day if you go to more than one liquor store. That probably still can't be said about the Jack, and who knows? I mean, everything's crazy. Number one, the bourbon game's gotten crazy, and then you counterplay that with, you know, COVID and supply chain issues, glass shortages, cork shortages, barrel shortages. It's like the perfect storm to make things less available because it's supply and demand, and then also, all the other crap that's gone on over the last, Jesus, what is it now? 2.5 years? Over it. But, and that's the other thing. Leave a comment, because so far, I understand it's just the middle of August, and real bourbon season starts, September to November. But I feel like, and granted, I know some of you have been on your bourbon quest longer than I have even, but since I started when the pandemic started, it was really when I dove head first, that it seems like there's been, so for 2020, 2021, and 2022, so far, this seems like the worst year for like very awesome special bottles. I'm not trying to, bitch too much or complain, because I have gotten some really good stuff. You can go back and watch the top. I did a video like in June, end of June or something, about my whiskey of the year contentions halfway through the year. So, and there were some great bottles in there, but I don't think any of them were really that special, or special in the amount or number available. From 2020 to 2021 were much better years, at least so far. Maybe everything's going to hit in the next 2 to 3 months. I hope so. The one exception to that was my Joseph Magnus cigar blend. It's freaking phenomenal. Probably the best whiskey I've ever had. But it just seems like, there's less really special bottles out there. And I'm not talking expensive bottles, I'm talking special bottles. Like, last year, Russell's 13 year. Blood Oath seemed to come out a lot earlier the last 2 years, and I haven't seen it yet really hit, at least in my area. I know it's probably hit a couple places maybe a couple months ago, and I think, which I understand that most allocated limited releases, special editions are going to come out in the fall. That's fine. But I don't want them all to come out in the fall. Spread them out a little bit, a little bit of, first of the year, spring, June. And granted, I still realize that most of them are going to be in the fall, and that's fine, but I just feel like the pickings have been much slimmer this year than the previous two, based upon my experience. If your experience has been different, and granted, I got a 117 series, a cigar blend. I'm not saying I didn't get anything, but it just seems a little bit less, and the quality's fallen off, I think. And I think maybe that's trying to meet the demand, that they rush things to the market. Like Castle and Key was freaking garbage. I don't even care, and I love Jackie from Old Forester that's now with Hidden Barn, but I've heard that's not good, and all these people are jumping from this place to that place and pushing stuff out into the market that's not ready, that's not quality. I think that's a disservice to what bourbon is really about, which is why I do appreciate people like Chris Fletcher at Jack Daniels, Fred and Freddie No at Jim Beam. Is that right? Look at that right. Those are always confusing to me. No, that's Wild Turkey. Sorry. But you get what I'm saying. Like, I appreciate the Jim Beam family. Yeah, it is Booker's. Yeah, Booker Beam. So I appreciate the Jim Beam family and what they do in their special releases. I appreciate Jack Daniels and what they do. I appreciate Old Forester and what they do. I appreciate Heaven Hill and what they do, and their tradition, their legacy, their product, and that family. Hank Williams, an old family tradition. So Hank, why do you drink? To get drunk. But those family traditions, those distillers that have been around for more than 100 years, are freaking awesome and great. And I want to support these upcomers and whatever. And some of them are producing really great stuff. Chattanooga whiskey, which I'm rocking. I mean, yeah, Tim Pearson and stuff, what he's doing there is freaking phenomenal. They're 10 years old. But I feel like a lot of times there's all this there's nothing wrong with sourcing, because, I mean, I love Charlie and Andy Nelson from Greenbrier Distillery that started out, reproducing their family's heritage 100 years after Prohibition, and sourced from Bell Mead, and now they're producing their own juice, which the Classic's great. The Reserve has a little bit to go, but I can appreciate those. And I love Jackie and everything, and she's freaking amazing and phenomenal, and supposedly had her dream job at Old Forester and left, 7 years into it to go to a new production, which I get. I mean, that's what she wants to do. I know that's what her drive is and her passion, and I'm sure, but then you rush things out to the market, or Castle and Key rushes things out to the market. Yeah, the Castle and Key stuff was garbage. And I love the distillery, I love the bottle, I think, but the juice was just not good. So, I don't know. I mean, let me know what your thoughts are on that. Do you like what these new or rebranded companies have done in the last 10 to 15 years? Or are you more traditional with your bourbon, going to the guys that have been around for over 100 years? Old Forester, Heaven Hill, Jim Beam, Wild Turkey, Jack Daniels. Maybe not 100 years, but your big players, Makers, Woodford. And I think there's a place for these craft distilleries and newcomers and whatever. And I understand they got to recoup their capital. They got to try and replenish their losses, and hopefully someday make a profit. So I know that pressure is great, but then maybe you need to get some more bigger investors to allow that pressure to be less, so that when you put out something, people are going to, Bardstown Discovery, I mean, they're fairly new. They're putting out great stuff. They do a lot of contract distilling. Granted, it's about your size, it's about your backers, it's about your money. I know these, but I just feel like recently, while their intent is good, there's pressure to put stuff out on the market and start bringing money in instead of everything just going out. I get that. And they don't have, the size, viscosity to do what Jim Beam, Heaven Hill, Wild Turkey does. And that's a challenge. And I think us as a bourbon community, we understand and we support, those distillers, especially if they put out really good stuff. But then, I mean, you can go get yeah, some stuff from Heaven Hill, Evan Williams. Their whole lineup outside of the 12-year-old is, you know, highest is $35, and it's freaking awesome. Whereas a craft distillery is going to put out a less superior product for double that. So, should I buy an Evan Williams at their high end at $35, or ABC Distillery that's been around for 4 years, low end product for twice that at $70? I mean, I think that's going to start to shake out some things like here recently. We'll see. But, you know, good luck to Jackie. I'm sure she's going to do great there. It's just that, I mean, I haven't had it. I don't care to have it. I'm not pursuing it. Love Jackie, and I'm expecting great things in the future, but based upon the reviews and the other bourbon channels so far, it's not worth buying. I think there's expectations that it will get better, but it's not there yet. So, yeah. Alright, cheers. That's enough about that crap. So, I'm still interested in this Jack Daniels. It's good. It's just off profile from the ones I've had before. Yeah, it's still there. A little bit more tobacco and leather now, though. Man. Yeah, there's definitely... That's a new note that came out. Alright. We're going to do this. That's early. So there's more tobacco and leather I just got on that than before. I mean, it's so different than the other ones were sweet, banana, vanilla, caramel. This is more oaky, more cherry. And now I'm getting more leather and tobacco. Yeah, and I don't know, I don't think I've ever gotten that on Jack Daniels before. Leather and tobacco? I mean, it's totally different. I like that leather and tobacco that's opened up after being open a little bit more. Interesting. Hey, it's still a buy. It's still great. Love you, Chris Fletcher. Keep doing what you're doing. But, yeah, I probably said enough about the other stuff going on right now. Stay hydrated, my friends. Hey, leave a comment. What do you think? Do you prefer the big boys that have been around for 100+ years, or are you more interested in these craft distilleries over the last 10 to 15 years? And some of them are putting out really good stuff. Like, I think Chattanooga Whiskey, a prime example. And I love Tim Pearson. Love their vision. Love their brand. Love their whiskey. Love them as people. And there's others out there like that too. Or do you prefer those? Yeah, that's all. Stay hydrated. We're gonna go smoke a cigar, and we'll be back again soon. I'm already starting to feel better. Thank you, Bourbon Quest. Love you. And as always, my wish for you is that all your Bourbon Quest dreams come true. Haha, that's a wrap. Yep. Oh, still feeling it.